Well, in the last story, I told you about the lighter than air crafts, how they were successful in the initial stages because of the very simple technology. That is the only answer. The technology of heavier than air objects capable of flying in the air was a little bit difficult because it needed the science. And that is why the people were thinking in the manner that we have been seeing the birds flying in the air. And are the birds only flying objects? No. The flora and fauna, both of them have presented to us several flying objects. You must have seen several type of the seeds that at the time of seed dispersal they have got the three wing like structures and they fly. And they fly in a manner so long that miles together they fly, and that is a seed dispersal mechanism of the nature. So that is in the fauna, that is in the flora. Now in fauna, you must have seen many type of the insects fly. We never notice them because that is not very impressive. Sometimes troublesome also. The mosquitoes, which is a very common flying object around us and quite troublesome, but it flies wonderfully. Have you ever tried to catch the mosquito with your hand? You can't catch it. So such type of the insects are flying. Then can the mammals fly? Yes, there is a mammal which can fly, that is a bat, and they fly excellent. They are not flying just in some cumbersome manner. They are flying beautifully. They travel several miles. So the bats are capable of flying, the mammals are flying, aves, that is all the birds are flying. Even in the sea there are the fish which fly. They are called as the flying fish, and they jump out of the water and with the wings on their body travel at least about 100 to 150 meters in the air. So those are all the flying fish. So everywhere there are the examples of the flying, and the most important thing is all of them are heavier than air. They are not lighter than air. The meaning is that the heavier than air objects also can fly. Then for a man to fly, how much big a wing will be required? That was the main problem. Somebody have to calculate it. Now when nothing is known, no science is known, no data is available, how will you do this then? How can you do this? There is only one way, which is to create the data and study from that. And that work in aviation was done by a person called as Carl Mirwin. What he did is that he collected every sort of the flying animal, or let us say flying organism. The butterflies, the insects, the birds, all of them were collected. He meticulously measured the wing area and also weighed them. So he could make some primary table that the weight is so much and wing area is so much. The weight of the cockroach is so much and the wing area of the cockroach is so much. Weight of the butterfly is so much and wing area of the butterfly is so much. And in this way he went up to the birds. And then he established the two important facts. What he said is that when the wing becomes larger, the flapping speed reduces. Have you ever seen this? The sparrows, the doves, flap their wings at the high speed and fly. But have you ever seen the kites and the vultures and the eagle flapping their wings like that? No. They just keep the wing horizontal and fly for hours and hours together. The meaning is that as the wing grows in size and area, it is very difficult to flap the wing. When the wing is very tiny, it can be flapped at a very high speed. Nobody has seen the mosquito wing flapping. Like you can see the wing of the butterfly flap, you can't see the wing of the mosquito flapping because it flaps at a very high speed. So this was the fact established. And the second thing is that he did the primary calculation that about 126 square foot of the wing area will be required to support a man of 14 stone. Now that 14 stone comes to about 98 kilograms. One stone is about 7 kg, so it comes to 98 kilograms. So a man of 98 kilograms of the weight will require about 126 square foot of the area for the flying. So this was established. Can you bring a picture of 126 square foot of the area? I will give you. If you go to the market in the furniture shop or the furniture material shop, they have got the plywood sheets. They are 8 by 4 size sheets, so that is a 32 square feet. When the two sheets you put one in front of the other, then it will become 64 square foot. And another two sheet on the left side will be 64 square foot, it will become 128 square foot. Now imagine that if a wing of this size is made and you are asked to flap that wing, do you think you will be able to move it even an inch? It's just not possible. The human muscles can't flap so large an area. The bird muscles, which are called as the pectoral muscles, starting from the chest until up to the shoulder, are extremely strong, and that is why the birds can flap it. But the human can't do that. Human muscles are not that powerful. And why human muscle? Perhaps the elephant muscles also are not that powerful to flap the 128 square foot of the wing area. The meaning is that the attempts that were made of flapping the wings went failure for this basic reason. So only one way is left, is that keep the wings steady and make use of that. And that exactly was done by a person, Sir George Cayley. In the next video, I will tell you very interesting story of Sir George Cayley and his aircraft.
For books by Mr. Madhav Khare, visit www.jyotsnaprakashan.com. For many other products, from paper gliders up to remote control planes, exhibitions, workshops, lectures, etc., write to hilarious.aeroclub@gmail.com or kharemg@gmail.com.